And you paid your fees?
I didn't pay all of them. I was paying off and on. But guess what? 2004, there was, and this was the beef, the biggest beef in this country between me and Deputy Jesus, Ezekiel Mutua comes from. 2004.
Deputy Jesus.
Yes. 2004, I think, is when they first published my pictures in the paper. And I'll show you I'll come with my catalog and show you. When they published my pictures, I won Most Promising Young Photographer of the Year. That's 2004. The awards in 2005, the KUJ 2004-2005. Those are the awards where our TVs disappeared, we were never given our money, and who was the Secretary General of Kenya Union of Journalists? Ezekiel Mutua. That's where my beef and him began. Like, where, dude, our TVs were stolen. And that time, Patrick Njiru was doing some work for Samsung.
What do you mean your TVs? That was a reward?
Yeah, the TV sets for all the winners. We didn't get the money, we didn't get the TV sets. They told us they're going to give us certificates. So I won Most Promising Young Photographer. I was top of my class in that, as like I was the most promising young photographer of the country in 2005. And so when I go to the newsroom at the Standard, I'm this young promising photographer. So I get in, and now entertainment desk. That's where I start now rising. Entertainment. So what I do, I'll cover night events. And because I'm out at night, if something happens at night, I happen to be in town, I'll go cover a fire here, I'll go cover these things. Like, I was that guy. Now, the entry to the newsroom actually for me at the Standard was because I grew up in the hood. So the first place where my photos being published every other week was Face the Facts, the Kohenia's page. Because I was bringing him unusual pictures. I was bringing unusual pictures every week.
You know, this bit you've rushed, and I'm glad, because I'm very layman, so I don't really understand this world. Okay, I get it, but I want us to take it slowly. So you finish school, and when do you join? Before you finish school, I'm hearing you're already in Pulse. You're already as a freelance.
I'm throwing in some pictures.
Because you're like, there's a cadeau I want to enter here.
Yes.
That's always the goal.
Yeah.
So when you finish school, is that when you win Most Promising?
So
or you just graduate from school?
So when I'm graduating from school, they look at the pictures from the previous year, 2004. Then people submitted, all students of journalism.
And you got Most Promising
Young Journalist of the Year.
And that's what opened up the door for you now to go into?
So now Standard is where I automatically end up there. And because I was actually, before I ever got my appointment letter at the Standard, I was never asked, what are you doing here? I would go in and walk in there, because I would just submit my pictures and just go and chill with other photographers. And so
I get what you mean. You started making it your home.
Yeah, just come and hang out. But at the same time, I'm doing pictures of Akina Dij, Akina Kaz. I'm selling pictures to these guys when they came back from Project Fame, the South African thing. I'm just selling pictures to these guys. So what I'll be able to do, I go to an event, I take pictures of whatever is happening. I do cut out, but also prints. If you go to people's homes today, if you go to Prezo's house or Red Sun, because I lost some of these negatives.
Yeah, I saw the other day even on Twitter, you just decided to unleash. In fact, you said, name a musician and I'll show you a photo.
Yes, because I have archives.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I lost most of my negatives. So I have more digital and negatives. As in, I have sad stories of losing pictures.
Because you would print a lot of these things, though. So the ones which are digital are actual hard copies that now you scanned.
No, the ones so I lost most of my negatives.
Negatives, yes.
Because I used to be in a studio where when they were moving out, they threw out things. So my negatives and my stuff, like some of my best pictures. Okay. But luckily, some of the people who I took some of the best pictures have them in their houses.
Okay.
Because I sold them to them.
So that's another way you'd make revenue now.
So selling pictures to these people.
Yeah. And you've watched at the bookshop.
No, I'm still so 2005 I'm actually selling books.
Okay.
When there's actually like 2005, me and Mark Masai were selling handkerchiefs at DJ's Crusade. Because you see, this journalism thing is not paying very much. So mimi ndio tuuza vitabu, tuuza handkerchief.
I remember that Crusade, it was at the park over there where you were beaten.
Now, let me tell you a funny story about joining the Standard. So I joined the Standard about 205, right? So 204 nimemaliza shule 205 hapo ndo nimejoin. When I joined the Standard, I'm still a film photographer. Like I'm still shooting film. I don't know how to use digital. So the Standard had an account in a studio where you'd actually go shoot, take for processing and all that. So my editor then was just being nasty. He'd said to call me a liar, saying I'm wasting company resources, trying to kick me out. Now me was learning the ropes of how to do these things. So me in my very saved self and very righteous self, I decided to do my boss a memo. And I told him, I am not a liar. I do not lie. And I wrote this language. The senior photographers in that room were there when I was doing that letter and delivering to my boss. Someone who had worked there for over 20 years. I didn't know. I was young. I was foolish. I was 20, 21. Bro, so si nimempatia barua. Kumpatia barua, akaenda kaonyesha mdosi wake. Do you know I was kicked out of the Standard? Barely after I had started working. Barely. Bro, I was kicked out. Nikafukuzwa. Now, when I was kicked out, I went back to selling books. That's when I was selling me in Masai. I was selling handkerchiefs at Uhuru Park. But I was told, when I was kicked out, I begged and begged and begged. I cried. There's a lady called Pamela Makotsi. She's now the boss, I think, East African. He's one of the senior people in Nation Media Group. Pamela Makotsi was the managing editor at the Standard. And I begged and I cried. I said, now, because I was not even finished internship. I was said, I'm going to send you home for 1 month. So for that 1 month, I was out there. But guess what? The DJs come to Kenya, they're selling handkerchiefs, but in between I go and shoot a picture. So the day I was at Uhuru Park that day, Nani walks in. Uhuru Kenyatta walks in with Raila Odinga. And I had access. And I shot pictures, which people now can see on the screen right now. I shot those 2 pictures, and I went back to the Standard with them and I gave them. And they were page 1.
Ooh!
And dude, I came back to the newsroom with a bang. And when I was there, bro, I got so many page 1. Like,
That was your first page 1 though.
That was my first page 1. Uhuru and Raila on page 1. I should say that picture. You know, it's funny. So I came back to the newsroom and I learned to never write a memo to your boss. I learned that your boss can insult you. You don't have to respond. I learned these things. And I remember actually when that letter came out, there's a lady called Rebecca Nduko, another photographer, who went with me to Pamela to beg on my behalf. Hey, but bro, I cried because I knew I had done what I'm not supposed to do. I had opened my mouth again.
Just take photos.
But in trouble, just take pictures. You know, photographers are there to be seen, not to be heard. Nyamaza tu. And even till today, when I'm in trouble, like when I'm with my wife and there's a problem, my wife doesn't allow me to speak. Nikifungua mdomo. Drama. Drama too.
But your work must have been good. Or no, it's what you've said, hard work. You got photos that no one else got.
No one got, actually. And the reason, so Standard, so I'm doing more magazines upstairs. I'm doing cut-out pictures. I'm doing page 1s.
Which are okay, let's talk about this period, because this period was huge. Because now, even from a financial perspective, so now they hired you.
So now they pay me per picture.
They don't give you a salary.
They don't give me a salary.
Were there photographers getting a salary?
There were some senior photographers who've been there.
Okay,
But now, Drew, I'm doing stringing. Now money starts coming in. I'm supporting my siblings. I remember when I bought my TV.
How many photos would you get into a paper a week?
I would get like, because of cut out and there are many pages there, I would get like 10 or 15 or even 20.
What?
I moved, like I became like very good. Like I would do news pictures and then I'm doing magazines. I was working every day. Now this is the interesting part. When I start selling pictures, like when I bought my TV, my first TV, Okma. When I bought my Okma, I got my money from Red Sun. Red Sun was one of my clients. So I used meet Red Sun on 20th century hapo. No club iko hapo juu. So Red Sun told me to wait for him there. Nampigia simu na ngojea hapo for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. He comes, Boni ni aje. He pays me. The other biggest client for me was Prezo. Prezo also used to buy my pictures. You know, when I heard you talk about Prezo, being born in Pumwani, I have his pictures in Pumwani, in his house. Like I was Prezo's personal photographer. Taka pictures hapo hapo. When he's shooting music videos, so come be in my music video. Like no, nimeokoka bro. You know, all these guys. So I'm in the zone. So I'm getting to meet these artists.
And Pulse is huge now. You are the heart of the industry.
Now I'm there, but bro, me, I'm saved. So you guys are not my friends, really. You're my clients. And you're also my subjects. And it came to a place where I'll get so much, like I became hated. Because I learned something from, so Wayua Muli was, when I became a Pulse photographer, Wayua Muli was the boss of the Pulse. And Wayua Muli had a very simple rule about her life. Celebrities were not her friends. She was just an editor. And if you go back to the days where Wayua Muli was the editor, you won't see many photos of Wayua Muli in the paper. Wayua Muli was not the story. The celebrities were the story. And so when I came, and when I learned that even from her, my celebrities was just subjects for me. I was just shooting them. So me, I used to get very nice cut out. There's a time I got kicked out by, God rest her soul in peace, an amazing woman. Loneronga linifukuzanga kanivo. Na security, nikatolewa juju, nikatupo nje. There's even a story in the papers because I was bad for business.
Yep.
Because you see, me, I would come in, I'm very sober, I don't drink alcohol, I don't do anything, I just wait for you guys to get drunk and misbehave. And you know when people just get drunk, then I would get just caught out. So people would say, uko siendi, and I think to just show the breadth and the wide range of my pictures, you should show some of the pictures that I took.
They've been showing, they've been coming as we are talking.
Onesha my pictures. So niko napiga ma pictures zingine kali sana. And now there was 2 photographers. There was a guy called Thomas and Yusto who were doing cover pictures, but now they moved out. Now I became the guy you come to if you're a girl and you want people to know how you look like, and to just, like, you know, those hot models. I was the Pulse cover girl. So I was that guy. But then nimekimbia sana. Before I ended up becoming for Pulse, I started doing stuff for Insider Magazine and Buzz. So I did some work for Kina Adam na Kina Adhiambo Odera. So I would sell to anyone. So you know, doing paparazzi. Yes. Sell to Pulse, sell to Insider, sell to Buzz. I was just doing that.
So you go for, okay, so give me an example of a day. There's an event happening in Carnival.
Yes. So I'm there for the day. I'm there for Insider Menilipa for the day. And then also some of the pictures I want to get to Insider I'm going to go to.
So you give Insider first pick. So Insider coming.
Insider is monthly. So I decide which one I'm going to share.
Okay.
And then I learned a lesson actually, which came in handy. I'll tell you about post-election violence. So Mohamed Amin was called the 6-pack Mo. Mohamed Amin had like 6 clients. So Mohamed Amin used to walk around with 6 cameras. And I get poop. Because those days, for those agencies, you have to send the entire roll of film. So you'd shoot, andika AP, atuma inaenda. So you'd shoot 6 cameras, one event. Or even hire guys to walk around with cameras, wanampigia na wachukua hizo picha anatuma different places. But you know, me, I couldn't do that. So me, I used to be able to say, I'm going to shoot that, then shoot that, then shoot that, then go and tell Adhiambo Odera, unataka hii, then go to Akina Adam, then niende kwa Pulse. So even ulikuwa. So now I'm making some money. Like I can get 30K in a month. That's a lot of money, bro. It's a lot of money. So napiga mapicha. And
also, this is just because I've been in the industry, first and foremost, staff Pulse. Thank God I can see somebody from Pulse to say, you guys affected people's careers. And I'm an example. They came to grab photos of me at the barn. I was heartbroken at that time. Then they went to put me front page. At least a guy made a sao.
We made money off you.
Anyway, but my question is this. I mean, me, I came much after you as a musician. Maybe not, slightly. The industry.
Yes.
You're seeing the music industry exploding.
Yes.
Because you're talking about guys like Red Side, you're talking guys about like Prezo. That's when the urban industry. First of all, you have photos of Issa? Or you missed Issa?
No, I missed Issa. Because Issa died to December.
Oh, yes.
And they go in the street. I go in the street to 304.
Yeah, but okay, now let's talk about what you're seeing in
So
the
he's
industry.
checking a Caesar. Caesar.
Has that guy ever been found?
No, he's not been found. Caesar getting advocated for not winning. Akina Harry Kimani, they're coming out. Akina Estawahome. So you see some of like Akina Estawahome and all that. They were there, but there was no magazine for celebrities. Now Pulse is creating celebrities.
What?
So
That's so huge.
So if in the Pulse you're huge, you're big. Like Pulse were royalty.
They were.
Like the Pulse crew was.
They could make or break you.
Pulse crew was like royalty, man. They walk into a place. Like when there was an invite for any event, Pulse crew lazima wakuwe hapo ndani. So I mean this.
Also, you're not even struggling to enter because paparazzi sounds very.
You just say Pulse, but however, there's also the dark side of that time actually. So I was doing work for Mike Strano.
Fat Buzz.
I used to do their covers. I did Juakali, I did Pilipili, I did a couple of other guys. So Fat Buzz, I would work for Mike Strano for a day, and then he pays me a G. So, and then there's a time I went to do an event at Air Center. It was a fashion show. I was the only black photographer and I got kicked out.
What?
Yeah. So you're coming to an industry where there are not many. So there's photography, yes, but in these fashion spaces and this other, it was very exclusive for white photographers and all that. So I was actually literally removed from there. And I hope Likodera was watching this. Likodera knew me and he watched me being kicked out. He never said a word. Then Strand wasn't there. Strand came later and apologized. So I went through that kind of things where you go to an event or maybe it's I was dressed, they just kick you out and say, no, why are you here? So there's also that part where you had to struggle to be in that particular room. Then I was very youthful at that particular time. So yeah, so it exploded.
Who are your fellow competitors? Are there any of them there?
For photography?
Yeah.
So that time
I've interviewed, by the way, on this channel, I've interviewed a couple of photographers. Mwangi Kirubi. And Mutua Matheka, who I know even came much later.
Those guys came much later. Yeah. Like when we used to do workshops for photography, Akina Muave and Akina Mutua used to come to Power for those workshops.
Yeah.
So I'm in that space.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So I'm in that space, taking pictures, documenting the industry. I covered KJ's wedding. I was his photographer. I was at Nameless wedding. I mean, these spaces where I'm just...
You at Nameless's wedding?
Yes. I have pictures that Nameless has never seen. Yeah, the Nameless's wedding. I was there with Wahoo.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who, when Bamboo got saved, and then...
And you're saved at this time?
Yes,
Are you still saved?
No,
not now, but I mean, you know what I mean.
I'm very saved. I'm very saved. Even
yes.
then I was...
are you still religious? No, I was not even religious.
Then I was a fundamentalist.
Okay.
I am saved now, but I'm not a fundamentalist.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I was a Taliban, bro. I was a Taliban. My sisters used to sneak out with 2 sets of clothes. Because I didn't want to see miniskirts. I didn't want to see flesh. I didn't want to see alcohol. I didn't want to hear secular music in my house. Dude, I was radical until I met Mama Nate. No, I'll tell you the story of meeting Jerry. But now, no, I was just a stench.
Okay, no, but hey, you're alive, and you said it kept you alive.
So interesting enough, what happens? So I'm covering photography. I'm doing these stories. So this is actually where I realized, and I think this is the things that I learned. I was very ethical in my work. So in those days, the hottest girl was the cover girl. But even those days, I never gave out the cover girl number to my editors. Because what used to happen, a lady would be in the paper as the cover girl. And the following day, or the same day, on Friday, editor would go see, dem ni nani, ma CEOs huku Nairobi, MPs want her number. I wouldn't give out the number. That's how straight I was.
Yeah.
I used to walk in the upper 6th floor. Napata madem wananingojea. I don't need to pick one girl. And then go take a picture. Then life can change. I remember we tried to experiment on a cover that even Moi complained what has happened to his paper. We took a girl for Christmas cover. She removed all her clothes. Then we put feathers on her.
Yeah.
For that time, that was radical. Like I took the most raunchiest photo of Pulse them days. a girl with all feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it became controversy, then it became the norm now. Now half naked girls in Pulse is now the norm. Sino tunashia tabia kupiga madem kwa cover bila nguo.
Let me ask, from a financial perspective, Pulse moved the newspapers.
Yes.
Like on Friday, you'd see a spike.
Because it was the best-selling paper for the Standard. Because people want to know who's sleeping with who.
And for you to get Pulse, you have to buy the Standard.
You have to buy the Standard.
Because it was an insert
inside.
Bro,
Pulse was big. There was no Facebook, there was no Twitter. There was no social media.
Yes.
And for high schoolers, it was Insider. That's monthly. So every Friday, like Pulse made careers in this country. Actually, Pulse introduced celebrityhood.
Yes,
Pulse is the reason why you have Gaffler and the likes. It
introduced celebrityhood, and it also introduced the raunch, the extreme other side of tabloids. Yeah, exactly.
It became a tabloid thing, and then they moved away from where your life is no longer private, it's public. But also there is a thing about celebrity. People want to know how you are, who you're sleeping with, where you party, what car you drive.
Yeah. True.
And then I think that's why Prezo pushed the limits with his helicopter.
Prezo
came and pushed the limits, man.
Prezo
coming with the helicopter, Major's coming with the Mkokoteni, or is it no? Wawesh coming with the Mkokoteni there. Styles coming with motorbikes. I'm there documenting all that.
Yeah.
And then I used to go back to the Kwama 10 tuko nyuma. I was very small, so I was very sneaky. My picture. I was selling like the way Bamboo got saved. Then I did a content for Fat Buzz, the nation one, of Prezo kissing not Prezo, Bamboo kissing the girlfriend. And the headline was, Umiokoka, because why are you kissing this girl in the same? So such things.
And then, okay, aside the Pulse photography, are you doing everyday photography like the president? Are you doing events?
So I'm doing, so there's seniority. So I'm doing the press conferences. I'm sent small events, but every time I'm sent to an event, I come back with pictures and I deliver. Now, I forgot to tell you, the funny thing about poverty. So between my mother dying and in between and me selling books and all that, I opened a video show.
What?
In Juja Road.